Hello and welcome to Ballam Road Farm. This is episode 7, part 2. In this episode we finish off the wheat field. Only really requires rolling. We feed the cattle and we make our deliveries. Also I think it's quite interesting information about the subsidies for wheat growers in the UK and how they work for growing wheat for Weetabix. But I'll speak to you about that when we're doing the rolling. First things first, let's get some hay down to the beef cattle, and of course we're going to have to buy some in, and I'm not quite sure how much it's going to cost. So we're going to have to put a load into each of the barns. Right, so hay, fill that up, and yeah, just give or take a couple of pounds on 1,000, so it's just under 1,000 pounds for 23,000 litres of hay. Well, it's an expense. We'll put this one into the big barn, and hopefully that'll carry them through until next month, April. I think we'll definitely turn out the beef cattle in April. Not sure whether we'll turn out the dairy cattle in April or May. It's just depending on how it goes next month, but definitely the beef cattle will go out. Certainly don't want to have to buy another 2 loads of hay. So next season we should have enough hay. Right, there we go. Let's just get that in here. That should keep them happy for the day. Don't think we'll put any more straw in at this time. Just sit there and rot before they come back in the next year, so we'll just let them finish off. There's still a little bit of bedding there for them, so they should be okay. Get these gates closed, and then off camera I will get another load and take it into the limousines or the limousines. Also next month we'll have to start looking to see and working out when each herd is reproducing, because I would like to calve in the fields and not in the barns. That's probably different to what most people do, but in this case we actually don't have the room to calve in the barns, so we'll have to do it in the fields. Right, so back at the farm now. It's the beef cattle fed. We'll feed the dairy cattle last thing this evening, which is kind of our routine now. So let's hop into one of the styres and pop on down to the store and go and buy a roller. Now I do have one of my favorite rollers for small fields. I'll show you what it is now. It's got a fair working width, nowhere near what some of the big ones are, but then again I don't think we have the horsepower to deal with those really big ones. Well, here we are down at the store now. Let's have a look and see if I can find it. Hopefully they've still got some in stock. We'll check it out now. Yeah, there we go. gutter. Matador. Just sounds cool as well, doesn't it? Any case, there we go. Purchased, bought. A little bit tight to hook it up, but not too much of a problem. Right, let's get that up there. I think it folds as well, so get this all folded up. We'll head on up to the wheat field and get the rolling started. Right, we're just about up here now. Just turn in here, get this open and start the rolling. That down. Yeah, so I mean it's a fair width. It's still going to take a little while to do this whole field, but yeah, what can we do? You know, we're working with small equipment at the moment. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I thought I'd just give you some background to the subsidies. I don't suppose you can call it a subsidy. It's a working group, I would say, of farmers in the UK that work specifically for the Weetabix company. The Weetabix company has, I think it's around about 300 or so farmers that farm within a 50-mile radius of their factory, which is in Northamptonshire, just fairly central to England, maybe a little bit on the south side for the UK altogether, but yeah, so but fairly central in the country, so it has a proper 50-mile radius. So the farmers within that radius will produce wheat for Weetabix, and they receive around about, I think if I remember correctly the last time, around about three pounds per I'm not sure exactly how much it was. But in any case, I think it was £3 per ton. I'm not sure. I'll check that up sometime. As a subsidy to produce wheat. Now, of course, they have to produce it to the specifications of Weetabix. And I know that they meet up with representatives from the company on a fairly regular basis to talk through how things are going, any problems that the farmers are having in terms of weather, etc. The other thing is that the farmers have to deliver directly to the Weetabix factory. So, of course, that takes out the middlemen, and therefore works out to both parties' advantage. The farmers get a little bit extra for their wheat, and Weetabix obviously doesn't have to pay any intermediatory charges for their wheat, for their grains. So a pretty sweet deal for both sides. Right, so we'll put that onto a worker now, and we'll just load up some of the dairy products and deliver them to the various places. So first thing we'll do is we'll deliver a box of cheese and a box of butter to the farm shop. Keep them sweet. Right, so there are some minor developments on the farm shop which hopefully we'll be able to implement in the next couple of months. We won't say exactly what it is right now. We'll let you know as soon as things have been finalized and we've got things sorted out. But there is some movements in developing the farm shop. Right, let's get this butter into the farm shop. So somebody wants to stop and talk, especially when I'm carrying a pallet of butter. I don't know whether you saw it, there's somebody right behind me there. I don't think it actually. Right, so while we were doing that, the lads have loaded up the van with 2 pallets of butter, which we're going to take up to the duck pond market and supply them. We seem to sell quite a bit of butter through there. Can't complain. Someone has moved again. Must be some of the ruffians around the place messing with my mind. Maybe I'll have to get some really big concrete poles or something. Concrete foundations for my for my signpost. I guess it's not a serious problem. Right, so that's that one done. Let's go and load up some more. I think the golf course market wanted one cheese and 1 butter. Let's get those loaded up. Go and deliver those. We have had some more interest from the supermarket about supplying them, but they're just not offering the right sort of prices for me. There's always some sort of, but we'll see. We'll develop plans to be able to produce more of these products so that we can supply them. So, you know, even if we have to build a satellite dairy, but we'll have to get the money for that first. Right now, I'm quite happy supplying my own outlets. I'm pretty sure the supermarkets will start offering big money, but if we do have surplus stock, then we'll work with it. That's kind of how I've left it with them. If we have surplus, we'll help them out. Right now, more interesting in developing my own retail outlets, so the 2 farmers markets, farm shop, and of course more latterly the 2 vending machines. Vending machines are doing quite well. They do pay well, relatively speaking. Of course the ice cream maker pays pretty well as well. I'm quite happy with how we are supplying now. We seem to be getting it out nice and fresh. Right. Yeah, so it's just over $2,000. It's going to be a tough year. There's no doubt about it. We're just not bringing in the right sort of income. Right, so we've done all the deliveries and just finishing off the rolling of the fields. As per normal, the kids left little areas that were unrolled because of the shape of the field. It's not a problem. I'm quite happy to finish them off so that I can just make sure that they're done reasonably well. The biggest problem here is that I finished off in the evening. It's dark already, so it's only just nearly 8 o'clock at night, so it's not midnight or anything like that, but yeah, so that's the wheat in. Only really one more step before the harvesting. There's probably going to be some weeds that have grown because we have that'll go in the next, probably have to be sorted out in the next month or so. But yeah, pretty happy with the way the planting has gone. That's the main job for today done. All we've got left really is to get back to the farm and feed the dairy herd. Let's get that parked up. Go get the TMR mixer. Get it ready. So we'll put in just enough to make sure that both barns are okay for today, for this month, should I say. So hopefully we'll get it all turned out early in April so that they can get onto the fresh grass. As I said, I'll turn out the beef cattle first, and if there's enough time, and if the weather's okay, if it doesn't look too cold we don't want them spending all their energy on keeping themselves warm when they can be producing milk, of course. So there is a natural drop-off when they're in the field because they're using a bit more energy from walking around and having fun and being cows, as opposed to they are a little bit more restricted in the barns. Right, let's get this all connected up. I'll go through one of the mixers just to give you an idea of how it's going. No, I did do it in one of the earlier episodes, but every now and again I'll just do a mix just so you can see how we're doing it. If there are any changes. At the moment, no changes. Still doing 50-50, so 50% hay, 50% silage. It's giving us a nice, good, rich TMR mix. I've noticed that in the buttermilk, or the buttermilk fat in the herd, running very, very good. Or very high, should I say. Pretty happy with it. It's got a lot to do with production. Has got a lot to do with the welfare of the animals. So if you look after your animals, feed them well, they'll look after you. Oh dear, did you see that? I forgot to put down the boom. Oh my goodness. We've just taken out the new barn's cladding. Oh man, that's going to cost. We'll have a look in the morning, see what damage was done. Yeah, it's going to be repair bills on that. Yeah. It's been a long day and concentration levels dropped towards the end of the day. Feeling it in my neck a little bit, that. Yeah, gee. A little bit of whiplash. Oh, wonder if the insurance company will pay out for it. I doubt it. Yeah. Well, you know, if a farmer to go and admit his mistake. Yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm just going to pay for it to be fixed. If I wasn't recording this and showing it to you, nobody would have known. I'd have just had it surreptitiously fixed. Somebody might have said, well, where's that been spent? And well, I think I'd rather say something like, oh, I've spent it on a night out somewhere, rather than tell them that I drove into the cladding. Never live it down with the boys on the farm. Oh dear. Well, there we go. Just about done. I'm not sure that... Well, I think we're in the wrong bay here. Not having a good end of the day. The brain is a bit frazzled, I think. It's definitely we've definitely got 2 hay in already, 2 buckets of hay. Got 1 bucket of silage, and we still need another bucket of silage. There we go. Put this in. We should be able to feed. I've just been thinking while I've been doing this about where I'm going to turn the cattle out into. The beef cattle are easy, they just go into the normal field. It's kind of regenerated enough in the last month, etc. And I do want to split out the younger stock from the older stock. So I think I'll put the younger stock just into this field, to the field across the road, and I'll put the milking stock into the top field, so the field above the one that we had them in earlier. So I think that's probably where I'm going to alternate between those 2 fields for the milking stock. The younger stock will alternate between the field across the road, and I think there's another field down towards the cow pasture, towards the beef cattle, the beef cow pasture. I think there's another field we've got down there that I can use, and I'll alternate the young stock with that. That's the thinking. We'll see how it works out next month when we do actually turn the animals out. Right, let's get this parked up now, and then we'll put this into the new barn. We have already done the old barn earlier on. Right, off we go. Lights on. With no floodlights down the side there. We'll get that done sometime in the near future, so that we have some decent lighting down in this little working area as well. Right here, let's go and put this 10,000 odd on, 10,000 litres odd in there. Yeah, that should keep them going until tomorrow. Alright, so we don't have a huge amount of hay left in that little barn there, so hopefully it's warm enough to turn the dairy cows out next month as well. So I'm guessing that the next month a large portion of it will be spent turning the cattle out. And the normal sort of chores. It's twice a year when that's a reality on this farm. Well, I think that's where I'm going to call it a day for this episode. Get the gates closed. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the episode, and if you're enjoying the series. Every little bit helps, as they say. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Cheerio.